everybody, welcome back to the show. And yes, our next guest is proud to say he built his website on a PC.
Yeah, there it is. Start out right away. Andrew Morrison is editor of Urban Diner, the man behind UrbanDiner.ca, and also the food critic for the West Ender.
By the way.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew, on a PC in one day.
Yes, I am a PC.
Let's talk about the website, though, because it is a great resource for people. Maybe you can tell us what it's all about.
Well, it's kind of neat. I mean, it was an ancillary thing to what I do in print. I mean, as a food writer, I always wanted to have, you need to have sources of information like ammunition for your columns. You need to have,
you need the bullets.
All the time, right? So what I did is I built a site where everyone in the restaurant community locally can come together and provide me with that information without me actually having to pick up a phone.
Yeah, it can be gossip, it can be a lot of different things.
It can be a restaurant is opening in 6 months, and then you get to chart, you get to see how that project develops, who comes on board, what the name is, what the menu is going to be, and it's amazing how many people it attracts and the different fields.
Well, it's such a big industry in our town, and there's so many restaurants opening. How many restaurants are opening in the next few months?
I've counted from May 15th to September 15th. There's 25 of a caliber that I would consider to be.
Yeah, this is not like a new McDonald's opening and Lougheed and whatever. This is like
these are. For the most part, there's a lot of money being spent. These are big square foot restaurants.
Are they going to survive?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, it's a really tricky business that's wrought with all sorts of difficulties, and Vancouver seems to be already overrun with restaurants as it is. I mean, just looking past on this year that we've just gone through, this winter, I was amazed at how many restaurants we had. And then looking at the summer coming up, it's unprecedented. I mean, I used to live in Toronto. I'd never seen anything like this in Toronto.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a phenomenon reserved for New York or London.
Okay, well, let's start talking about some of them. And we've sort of had you whittle it down to 10 that you think are going to really make sort of an impact in the market one way or the other one. The first one is called Metro.
Metro is a project from Tim Keller and Brian Folk, who own Rare One across from Il Giardino on Hornby Street.
Great food, by the way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful award-winning restaurant. It's only 2 years old, but or not even 2 years old, but 1.5. But they've just opened. I think the official opening day is tomorrow, but they've on the slide.
You never know.
And have you had a little sneak peek at Metro? Do you have an idea what's going on?
I've had 2 meals, one larger than the other. They were both absolutely exquisite. The designers. David Nicolay and Rob Edmonds from Evoke, who did Global Coast Santa Fe, so it's very sleek, very modern.
Very nice.
And the food is modern Canadian cuisine. It's accessible,
it's
affordable.
one to keep an eye out for and definitely try.
Definitely.
Let's move on to the next one. It's called Bonita.
Bonita is something that I'm really excited about because it's this is where the new blood is coming from in our restaurant business. These are 3 guys: Andre McGillivray, who used to be the general manager at Lumiere, Chambar, and Le Crocodile. He's one of the owners.
Boy,
Mark Brand.
It's a good pedigree.
Mark Brand, who is the bartender of the year for Vancouver Magazine 2 years ago, and the bar manager at Chambar. He's the other owner. And the last owner is Neil Ingram, who used to be the sommelier at Lumiere. And their chef is Jeremy Bastien, the sous chef to Rob Feeney at Lumiere.
This sounds like a money kind of place.
And you know what? It's in Gastown. I checked it out last night. It opens tonight, and it was just there's so much character. There's so much honesty in that room. There's no it's not frilly. It's not about fakery. It's just real honest. No, not at all. These are the most professional young restaurateurs I've seen. They're just opening tonight.
We're going to move on to Goldfish, but first, I mean, this is sort of indicative as well of the first wave really leading the second wave as well. I mean, a lot of these guys are coming through some of the most renowned kitchens on the west coast of North America, really now.
It's natural. I mean, this had to happen at some point. It just seems to.
Or these guys wanted to fly the coop and sort of branch out.
And it's all happening just in this one.
Okay, now Goldfish. Let's move on to this. This one is open now, right?
Goldfish is Bud Kankey, who owns Joe Forte's and off Robson, is. I mean, it's an icon, and they've opened a new place in Yaletown in the old Chircolo spot, which used to be Umberto Mengi's.
And they did a major renovation. The room looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous room, a nice long bar. It was Julie Hodgson who did the design. It's a beautiful space. Tons of staff, so service should be. That's another thing. Well, there's a lot of there's not enough servers going around right now, and there's not enough kitchen staff, not enough floor staff to meet this demand.
With all these places opening, that must be a real challenge for the people opening these restaurants.
Yeah, I had dinner there. I had my first full meal there yesterday, and I sat at the bar and was very well served. Lots of people were looking after us. And
How was the food?
Food was beautiful. I had a lovely piece of Arctic char, which was, I find, like a flavorless fish, and it picks up whatever sauce you put next to it.
It's like the tofu of fish.
Yeah, sure.
It's like the Eckford of television. Not really a lot of flavor. He picks up
But good
whatever's
overall.
around.
Okay, we're going to have to move to the next one so we can get through all these. The Shore Club.
Shore Club is a new project from Dave Eisenstadt, who owns like a gazillion billion kegs and Gotham.
He's got the money to back it up.
So I just wrote a column about it in the West Ender, and I called it it's a steakhouse with gills.
Good steak?
Oh, it's impeccable steak. I mean, if you want to have a nice piece of meat, you always used to go to either Gotham or Morton's or High's.
Yeah.
But this is, it's also over the top. If you want a piece of halibut, it's like $36 or something like that. I mean, it's a big.
There's a little bit of controversy over some of the items on the menu.
Well, this is the other thing. I mean, we're an ethical city as far as our dining community is concerned.
Yeah, well, a lot of the restaurateurs talk about the sustainability and
sure, and there's a great program that the Vancouver Aquarium does called Oceanwise, where restaurateurs or chefs will have them look at their menu and say, you can't have this, you can't have that. And I think that the Shore Club, without saying too much, needs to talk to them or talk to somebody and say,
pay a little more attention. We're going to skip a little bit in the middle, and we're going to go to number 3, which is the awesome Tintin Belgian Waffle House of Babar.
What?
And yes, I had to read that because it's so damn long and complicated. What is this?
It's not the real name. It's Shambar, which is one of my favorite restaurants in the city on Beatty Street. They're opening a new place right next door with one of their servers.
Yeah.
Who's coming in as an owner. It's going to be a daytime only place. Does coffee, small kitchen, so probably paninis. I don't know. I don't want to quote them exactly, but it's not coming out until the end of the summer, but end of August. And they don't have a name. If they do have a name, they're not telling me. So I said, okay.
They're not going to call it that, I'm sure.
Tintin Belgian Waffle House of Babar.
I put that up on the website. When I first learned of this. And it's amazing. Like, have you heard about this new place called?
It's awesome, awesome Tintin Belgian Waffle House of Babar.
The folks from Shambar, it's one of my favorite restaurants too. I look forward to seing what they do.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and it's daytime. As soon as it closes, Shambar opens.
Okay, number 2, Cobra.
Cobra is a sort of neo-pan-Latin place going into Gastown, which is a very hot restaurant
I've heard Gastown quite a few times in this conversation.
Yeah. Cobra is going into the old Curious spot. I think it's 52 Powell Street, just off Gassy Jack Square, across the street from the Irish Heather. The chef is Stu Irving, who used to be at Bin 941 way, way back, and then he was the opening chef at Wild Rice. He's the guy who designed, I think, Canada's first modern Canadian, Chinese Canadian menu.
Wonderful pedigree.
Yeah, yeah, and he's the guy who sort of explored that new cuisine, made it what it was for Wild Rice, and now he's going to do the same with Latin.
Oh, can't wait for that one. Okay, number 1, Italian Kitchen. I'm looking forward to this one. It's by the same people as Global, Santa Fe, and Coast.
A lot about that.
Yeah, this is a big restaurant. This is modern Italian cuisine. If ever there's a cuisine that sort of needs to have an injection of, I think Italian is one of them. Gone are the days of the straw-covered Chianti bottle and the Giuseppe
the checkered tablecloth. Yes,
I'd love to see that go. And who better to do it really than Imad Yakub and the boys from the Global Group who've done Coast.
They know how to put that twist on a place. Yeah.
So they've also got a very talented young chef, Ryan Gauthier, who used to be the executive chef at the Beach House. He's a very young, very bright guy, very intuitive with ingredients, and he makes a very good pasta. And the GM is Robert Byford, who's a classy guy. He's also trained as an executive chef and a sommelier, so he knows both sides.
All ends of the business.
So I've seen the designs of the space. It's not coming until I think the 3rd week of August or something like that.
But it'll be something to look forward to.
Lots of great places to go, people. If you want to find out everything we've been talking about, you can go to the website UrbanDiner.ca to find out more. Andrew, so nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming today.
I'm going to be poor and fat by the end of the summer.
Both of us will be. We're going to take a break, and when we return, also in Gastown is the Canadian Snowboarding Original Store, and we're going to show